coming together tonight in discovering real connections that ignite, that inspire, and that reawaken you. Tonight, we are here to let the world know that our doors are officially open, that we are back in business. Isn't that exciting? Can you imagine? A year and a half ago, I would never have imagined that we will all be sitting here together. It feels good. I hope you're happy to be here because I'm delighted to see all of your faces. You look really, really amazing. Now, our official hashtag tonight is hashtag MMA 2022. Go on your socials, let everybody know what SA Tourism is doing. Our other hashtag is hashtag Visit South Africa. Please use those if you're going to post anything related to the event tonight. I would like to welcome our distinguished buyers, exhibitors, and delegates from Meeting Africa as we welcome the world back to South Africa. Thank you for being here tonight. Last but not least, I would like to extend my warmest welcome to our Minister of Tourism, Honorable Ms. Lindiwe Sisulu, who is joining us tonight. It is an honor to have you here. Without further ado, I would like to introduce the acting CEO of SA Tourism, Mr. Mzilikazi Themba Khumalo, to say a few words, please.
Good evening, everybody. Is that without a shadow of a doubt, South Africa is the greatest nation on earth. If you believe it, give me a shout. The greatest nation on earth. So what I want you to do now is just to watch the screens and watch the background work, the manifesto that inspired the work that we're going to do. We're then going to have some performances. The minister is going to come out, and she's going to lead us in the launch of the film. So the first film that you're going to see is simply the inspiration behind the campaign. It's not the campaign itself. The honorable minister will come out later, and will launch the campaign. Much love to you. Enjoy the evening. The world, was all of us. Everyone was traveling around the world. Leisure tourists, business events tourists, lifestyle, tourists that travel for sport, for music, for art. We're traveling around the world. And then suddenly, on March 27th, 2020, the world came to a standstill as far as South Africa was concerned. We went into hard lockdown for a couple of weeks, and the rest of the world followed suit.
It had massive implications for South African tourism and the tourism industry in South Africa. So the first thing we did is we looked at all our business plans, all our investments, and the mantra was there to save cash wherever we could, because travel was blocked, all markets around the world, airlines were grounded. It was a very tough time, and the first thing we did is then put together a team to work with the industry and develop a recovery plan. So the team spent 1,000 hours, I call it, in closed doors, consulting together, coming up with ideas. And then once we completed that, we took our work to the whole business, and we did a consultative process with everyone in the business, all business units. And a long story short, we came up with a beautiful platform, a communication platform that was defined as to discover real connections that will inspire and ignite you.
People take a holiday to escape the day-to-day, to escape the mundane. What the lockdown of the last 2 years has taught us is not only do the people want to escape that mundane life, people are actually seeking a reawakening. What we know South Africa can offer the people of the world is an engagement with real people, engagement with real landscapes, real seascapes, and engagement that really changes people's lives. We know that when people leave South Africa, the one thing they always talk about is an engagement with the warmth of South Africans, the smiles of South Africans. And yes, indeed, when people are crying out for a break, people are crying out for a departure from their day-to-day, this is the destination that can give them that inspiration, reawaken their spirits, and the campaign that we've produced, Live Again, really speaks to that spiritual reawakening you experience from visiting South Africa.
So when we received the brief from South African Tourism, what was very obvious to us is that we had to find a creative concept that would respond to the state of numbness that the world was in. We had to find a way of interpreting this.
It was all a buzz. Everyone was traveling around the world, leisure tourists, business events tourists, lifestyle, tourists that travel for sport, for music, for art. We're traveling around the world. And then suddenly on March 27th, 2020, the world came to a standstill as far as South Africa was concerned. We went into hard lockdown for a couple of weeks, and the rest of the world followed suit.
It had massive implications for South African tourism and the tourism industry in South Africa. So the first thing we did is we looked at all our business plans, all our investments, and the mantra was there to save cash wherever we could, because travel was blocked, all markets around the world, airlines were grounded. It was a very tough time, and the first thing we did is then put together a team to work with the industry and develop a recovery plan. So the team spent 1,000 hours, I call it, in closed doors, consulting together, coming up with ideas. And then once we completed that, we took our work to the whole business, and we did a consultative process with everyone in the business, all business units. And a long story short, we came up with a beautiful platform, a communication platform that was defined as to discover real connections that will inspire and ignite you.
People take a holiday to escape the day-to-day, to escape the mundane. What the lockdown of the last 2 years has taught us is not only do the people want to escape that mundane life, people are actually seeking a reawakening. What we know South Africa can offer the people of the world is an engagement with real people, engagement with real landscapes, real seascapes, an engagement that really changes people's lives. We know that when people leave South Africa, the one thing they always talk about is an engagement with the warmth of South Africans, the smiles of South Africans. And yes, indeed, when people are crying out for a break, people are crying out for a departure from their day-to-day, this is the destination that can give them that inspiration, reawaken their spirits, and the campaign that we've produced, Live Again, really speaks to
South African tourism. What was very obvious to us is that we had to find a creative concept that would respond to the state of numbness that the world was in. We had to find a way of interpreting this life that we believe is only truly and authentically found in our beautiful country. So working together with South African Tourism, we tried to find a creative concept that would capture the vibrancy of our people, the vibrancy of our landscapes, of this beautiful land of ours. And I think that where we ended up was truly, truly unique and will stand out in the worldwide marketplace.
When you come to South Africa, it is not about what you see. It's not about what you do. It is the way that it impacts and transforms your soul. You feel a deep sense of transformation from within. You feel that the things that you had always longed for in your life, wherever you come from around the world, when you come to South Africa, it happens to you automatically from the inside. It is almost spiritual in nature. And that is why the campaign that we've built now is not about what we sell. It is the way we make people feel.
It is the way in which we transform the very essence of the way people look at their lives going forward. And that is why we are inviting everyone around the world to come to South Africa, not to experience things, but to live again. That is why this campaign is of moment right now.
This campaign is extremely important for us to welcome back the world to the shores of South Africa. Not just to come and live again with us, but also to brush shoulders with the best in the field of science, innovation, technologies, medical field. It's also an opportunity to be part of a solution, not just for South Africa, but for the rest of the world.
The Global Brand Campaign is an important part of tourism recovery strategy for South Africa. As we all know, perceptions and how the country is viewed across many different markets is key in decision making. So it's important that we embark on this brand campaign to make sure that we change perception for leisure travelers so that they can see South Africa as a preferred tourism destination. The same applies to the business travelers. These are the people that come to South Africa for conferences, for business meetings and events and exhibition. It's important that they see us as a country that has capacity and capabilities for them to come and have their meetings here. And of course, it's critical to rebuild our image as a country, to make sure that we create jobs, to make sure that we're seen as a favorable destination, and to make sure that as a country we shine out there in the world and everyone can see what we're capable of and what a tourist destination we are.
The second layer of this campaign is to make sure that the facts about South Africa are known in the world. And the facts are in two categories. The first one is that at every single point in the value chain, in the traveler journey, where people would be fearful because they're unsure whether they are going to be secured from a biosecurity standpoint, we as South Africa make sure that every single moment in that traveler journey is turned from anxiety to joy. Our biosecurity systems are there to ensure that in your in-flight, in your arrival, in your journey throughout the country, that at each point you are secured. It is the law of the country to wear masks. It is the law of the country to take temperature. It is the law of the country to sanitize, to social distance, and it is the practice of our people. We make sure that these things are in place, not just for ourselves, but to make sure that everyone that visits this country is able to experience the joy of this country in safety and in peace. The second aspect of the campaign, of this particular aspect of the campaign, is to make sure that the facts about our scientists and the excellence of their work is known in the rest of the world. We are so good that we are able to detect from a scientific standpoint the things that other scientists around the world do not know about COVID. The fact that we discover things first and were honest enough to alert the rest of the world speaks to the integrity of who we are as a people. We are a loving people. We share everything that we have with the rest of the world, and we are a meaningful global citizen that makes a meaningful contribution to the rest of the world.
How great was that messaging? You agree that we are a loving nation, right? What is the greatest destination in the world? What is the greatest destination in the world? South Africa, of course. Absolutely. I mean, from that you can tell that a lot of work has been put into what is happening right now, this new brand positioning. I hope you love and appreciate it, and that you see the rollout in the coming weeks and in the coming months. Ladies and gents, it is an honor and privilege for me to introduce our next speaker. Please welcome the interim board chair for SA Tourism, Advocate Mojankunyane Gombi.
Well, good evening. This is not a night for speeches, so I'm definitely not a speaker. I'm here to introduce the minister. Honorable Minister, I don't know if you can hear me. sitting out there, and the DG here, my fellow board members, are having a nice party out there in the corner. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. It's a privilege for me to be here to welcome the minister as she launches our global campaign. We know that COVID has caused untold harm on our sector in particular, but we are here to say we are back and we are as resilient as ever as South Africans. The objectives of Meeting Africa is to demonstrate how African business events, entrepreneurs continue to make strides in reaching economies of scale by leveraging shared resources. Utilizing this strategic business platform will enable us to restore the bridges between the exhibitor and the buyer in order to compete on a global stage. We are going to open this tomorrow formally, and I know and I hope that all of you will be there. But tonight, we want the minister to come and launch the global campaign for us. We know that we are ready. We know that we can do it. We know that we can do it safely. We know that we can welcome our partners to come and meet in South Africa and across the continent. We know that our partners across the continent are ready. So let us do it. Let us tell the world we are ready. Ready. So tonight, Minister, if you can make your way towards the stage, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Honorable Minister of Tourism, Ms. Lindiwe Sisulu, who has spent a lot of time making sure that tourism remains one of South Africa's economic backbone. In the time that she's been our Minister of Tourism since August last year, she has passionately defended and promoted South Africa. We know she's feisty, eh? She has, within days of assuming office, taken us off red lists and travel bans that were imposed on our country. I'm not allowed to say more about her. I'll get into trouble. Other than that, you don't want to stand in her path. She's that minister that you don't want to stand in her path. So please, Vicky Sampson, can you come on stage to help me welcome the minister? Over to you, Vicky.
Sometimes alone, I look outside my window at the shadows in the night. I hear the sound of distant crying, the darkness multiplying, and weary hearts denied. All I feel is my heartbeat, beating like a drum, beating with confusion. All I hear are the voices telling me to go, but I can never run, 'cause in my African dream, there's a new tomorrow. My African dream is a dream that we can follow. Miss Vicky Sampson. Ramello. Now when when the night begins to fall. I listen for your call. I listen for your heartbeat. And all alone my dream is just a dream, another false illusion and a shadow in the night. And all I want is for our hearts to be beating just as one, to silence this confusion. Then the pain and illusion will disappear again, and we will never end. 'Cause in my African dream, you know, there's a new tomorrow. My African dream is a dream that we can follow. My African dream. There's a new tomorrow.
there's a new-
My African dream. Whoa, whoa, keep love in our hearts, keep peace in our minds. My African dream. You know, there's a new tomorrow. My hopes and illusions. My African dream is an end to the
this
confusion. My African dream. Thank you. Ramelo, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Vicky Sampson, a legend of our time. Thank you so much. We hunted her down because the song embodies everything we represent. And finally, we got her. Thank you so much. A round of applause for the most beautiful voice in the world. Thank you so much. Before I got onto the stage, my DG said to me, Minister, please don't read a speech because it'll look like we're in government again. And today we're not in government, so I've taken note of that. I'd like to recognize the DG himself. I'd like to recognize the chair of the board. I'd like to recognize all members of the board. I'd like to recognize all members of the provincial boards who are here. I'd like to recognize all distinguished guests who've taken time to be with us today. Today is a very special day for us because we are going to make sure that we launch this campaign, which we have waited for the best part of the year. And it is very good for me to stand here in front of you and launch our beautiful campaign called Live Again. And it's a global campaign, and we want to make sure that you take it with you and send it to every friend you have, because we've got to a stage now in our lives where we think we can live again. This is a campaign that we've been working on, and it will be shown to you in a few minutes. My job was to come and say thank you for being here and to celebrate with us in this period, beginning with the campaign. We celebrate the re-emergence of our country from COVID, the re-emergence of our economy, the re-emergence of people like yourselves who can come and enjoy the day that we have right now. And therefore, what we're doing now is to say to the world, we in South Africa are giving a signal that life can begin again. And here we launched the campaign, Live Again. Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think the message is pretty clear that there is something for everybody out here, right? And if it's an adventure that you're looking for, South Africa is the destination where you can learn to live again. I love the campaign messaging. Don't forget to hashtag it, let everybody know. Hashtag MMA 2022 and hashtag visit South Africa. Are you ready for some entertainment? Yeah, I saw you all had a little something to drink, so you're nice and warmed up. Are you ready for Sanel musician and Bongisiwe Mabandla? Well, here they are, ladies and gents.
With pleasure. Ungumuntu endimbonayo unikhumbuza wena. Ungumuntu endimbonayo unikhumbuza wena. Ungumuntu endimbonayo unikhumbuza wena. Ungumuntu endimbonayo unikhumbuza wena. Let's go. Umhle, umhle, kamhlena.
Thank you very much.
party. The next act I'm about to bring on is gonna make you party. Just by watching her, you're gonna feel exhausted because girl brings it. She is an All Africa Music Awards nominee for Best Female in South Africa. I don't know if you're ready for all of this energy. I hope you are, because Makazi is up next. Thank you all for being here. Hashtag MMA 2022.
Makadzi muimbi akwaya kujananga mitsindo hata kwandumina sulumi ubvangei mafuni matsuku hamashamba chivangani udachitupisa busenga bunambi yawe undibva buseni hamusina chawe tambuloni yaidivanga utsula tambuloni ngeno tava usina ndinyi ativa mbili yanga na vuyo hanga asivanga asivatundi wa mavutu mutamina mutacheresi wananelirakana asika kunyeledza dzuva lawe la musidzana avona zonaka angwani afrika na musi upfumakadzi kavana vatulu va malume vakhodzi na dzikhaladzi katina devula makadzi ariyo shoma rakokova ndi zone vatopfa uchipfi ngango va humela murahu va haka matorokisi apfala lugungula lwa tshandaiya tshandavuya karivone lapfuma venda nga vunambi ya makadzi
Madekwana Sanbonani Dimalang Lekai Awe
Hey, Mr. Brown, you wanna make something say?
Chitoma musaba tomena Liringwao pera murena Vachitoma musaba sezembe Zirongwao pera murena Vachitoma musaba tomena Nerilebele Vachitoma musaba tomena Let's go. Sit down, come on, head. I can't hear you. Let's go, Kosa. Sit down, come on, head. Kosa, wanna show. That is Shibuya. Sit down, come on, head. Darifumula niwe, mungana wanga. Azongo toma ngaini fumulaniwe mungana wanga azongo toma ngaini tishe Oh, lo, lo. Oh, Lord, oh.
Hekulakwe, 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 hekulakwe ndivanye wala, baita mifala. Hekulakwe ndivanye wala, baita mifala. Hekulakwe ndivanye wala, baita mifala. Hai ndivanye wala, baita mifala. Ini mungana wano wamfunane. Ini mungana wano wamtotande. Ini mungana wano wamfunane. Ini mungana wano wamfunane. Wana chomia weno yanerhanda mino. Wana chomia wena yanerhanda mino. Hekula kwendi wonye wala, paitani pala. Patodan negane, pafunan negane, patodan negane. Let's go, shit, on a horse, shit. Hekula Arba! Mugana wabuni bubuze, fare sakumba. Fare sakumba. Mugana wabuni bubuze, fare sakumba. Fare sakumba. Mugana wabuni bubuze, funeta de bukis. Funeta de bukis. Funeta de bukis. And I put in the bubuze, and then funeta honeymoon. Funeta honeymoon. Funeta honeymoon. Mugana wabuni bubuze, and then funeta zikorodo. Funeta zikorodo. Funeta zikorodo. And I put in the bubuze, and then funeta honeymoon. Arrah! Tomu jenita zikorodo. Jenita zikorodo. Tomu jenita zikorodo. Jenita zikorodo. Tomu rengita zikuchi. Rengita zikuchi. Tomu rengita zikuchi. Rengita zikuchi. Sure. Kamfara sakumba DJ ndikhomera volume ndikhomera bass bass ayikwa hale nya kwa driver Mr DJ hopola bass nyana mo Paramene sure Shut the one show. What's the one show? What's the one show? What's the one? Oh, lo. Oh, lo. But it's a loss of me, now it's something I like. And it's a loss of me, now it's something I like. But it's a loss of me, now it's something I like. And it's a loss of me, now it's something I like. And it's a loss of me, now it's something I like. And it's a loss of me, now it's something I like. But it's a loss of me, now it's something I like. And it's a loss of me, now it's something I like. Let's go, sister. Naughty party. Arisanga samucholo siko kanama. Do you know this song? Vaideva. Do you know this song? Ndachola na manu, ndachola na pita, ndachola na chono. Sanga samucholo. Ndachola na manu, ndachola na pita, ndachola na chono. Hawo kuma sanga samucholo. Lumwetuba nditawa ngambiru. Lumwetuba nditawa nafa. Ndichifuna ndifuna ngambiru. Henda lumwetuba nditawa nafa. Lumwetuba nditawa ngambiru. Henda lumwetuba nditawa nafa. Ndichichola ngambiru. Lumwetuba nditawa nafa. Ndichola ngambiru. Andesanga samucholo. Ndichola ngambiru. Andesanga samucholo siko kanama. Ndachola na manu, ndachola na pita, ndachola na chono. Sanga samucholo. Ndachola na manu, ndachola na pita, ndachola na chono. Sanga samucholo siko kanama. Harbo.
Chesa Prispenza.
Natina ya urenga pia. Natina ya urenga pia. Ya urenga pia. Nitobu na panga. Natina ya urenga pia. Akina ya urenga pia. Nakina ya urenga pia. Ya urenga pia. Kitabona. Let's go, Costa, una shesora. Urenge. Let's go, Costa. Carry chest, my yellow pole. Carry chest, my black beauty. Carry chest, banana kamuka. Mara ufunesi wa my yellow pole. Carry chest, my yellow pole. Chest, my black beauty. Ufunesi wa my yellow pole. Mara ufunesi wa my yellow pole. Swanda. Let's go, Costa on us. Haro. Shesora. Life is too short. Life is too short. Muchilande bothuko. Banatu ndiyo na pia. Hai lona bekeli kiyo na piri. Bekeli kiyo na pia. Hebulkiri bekeli kiyo na piri. Bekeli
Matojo, 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 matojo. Arriba. Arriba. Shesora. Kusora. Shesora. 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 Mandesa. Bye-bye. You still need more? You want more? One more song? 2 more songs? 3? Okay, teacher, let's go. Quarter. Shot. Sure. That's one. Let's go, Kosa. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Utsisabona bu DJ Kolbe.
Makazwa borine. pula kaemisha pula ndopepa chenda uri mvula ime ndopepa chenda uri mvula ime kipepu chisehlako uri pula yeme kipepu chisehlako uri pula yeme limbise ma ndari hasibuloyi nimvelo yarene
Swanda.
Makazi, we wanna pop.
Just so winner.